Hello and welcome to a Star Citizen monthly report, looking at what Cloud Imperium have been working on over the last few weeks and what they're focused on now in November 2024. Last month, October, was a busy month for all CIG staff, with patch launches, Pyro in the PTU, and of course, CitizenCon 2954. Alongside these major events, progress on upcoming features continued, with many teams finalizing content for Alpha 4.0 and for 2025. This will be the last Persistent Universe report of the year. You're effectively going to get two monthly reports coming in January 2025 squished together. I believe as well that we're not going to be seeing a Squadron 42 report until January. Anyway, back to the Persistent Universe monthly report. The ship team completed the final content review for the RSI Polaris, which is now in the 3.24.3 PTU build, alongside the Star Lancer Max. They're just putting the finishing touches to both of those ships before they release them to live. They're also nearly finished with two unannounced vehicles, while several more are approaching their white box and grey box reviews. 6 additional vehicles will begin production soon as well. The economy team continued their work on Pyro and began implementing some of the balance changes mentioned in previous reports. The mission design team finalized the Save Stanton quest chain. This features 3 new modular missions. They also created a journal entry for players to track their progress through the event. This is something that is going to be part of the 3.24.3 patch. Don't know when they're going to actually run that dynamic event. I would expect it to be just after the IAE ends though, so think maybe December 6th onwards, anytime around then. And it's probably going to be an event that runs until Alpha 4.0 launches, thinking about it. The mission system refactor progressed while future handyman missions entered QA testing and are currently going through the final polish phase. They also planned tasks for future releases alongside the fundamental archetypes for some of the guilds that were unveiled at CitizenCon. Guilds are going to group together factions and similar mission types and roles and stuff and allow you to go, I want to work with the mining guild, and do a load of mining type and mining adjacent missions. The character art team continued creating the utility and specialist armors shown at CitizenCon, including color and material variants to support factions and missions. Work also began on armors for upcoming events. We know that there's lots and lots and lots of different types of armor, and this will allow you to have soft classes in the game. The character concept art team created new armors, including utility, battle tech, and a super heavy armor, but you'll be able to get armor that allows you for super damage mitigation, or armor that allows you to be better as a miner or a medic. The animation team worked on the Valakar, the Sandworm, and Space Cow alongside adjustments to the Copian, the little dogs that run around. They also provided facial animation support for the Persistent Universe characters and prepped for an upcoming narrative shoot. Animation are currently supporting level design with a number of player interaction animations for level traversal. If you are after better traversal animations, you've been looking for that for a while, a lot of you, I know, they are coming, and I think some of them might be in 4.0, or at least the early part of 2025 is what I'm hoping. The AI content team supported the social behaviors tied to Stanton's derelict outposts and settlements, which will be used for new mission content. As neutral players can visit these locations, NPCs need to behave normally when not under threat or under mission conditions. The team also worked on tasks for Alpha 4.0, including validating social AI in various stations around Pyro. They also reviewed Stanton's landing zones to see where improvements could be made. After additional conversations, the team is looking to capture new content to provide more dynamic conversations to both Stanton and Pyro. AI features have been improving human combat features for Alpha 4.0. For first reactions, the behavior was refactored to provide more consistent responses across a range of situations. The team continued to iterate on functionality for NPCs healing downed friendlies, including changes to the actor states to ensure the animation flow continues correctly between individual and synchronized animations. A test cell was also created to ensure the medic works consistently across different setups, including from different directions around around the patient's body. For ammo and weapon management, the devs looked at reload functionality, including behavior for switching to a sidearm when picking up ammo or looting from bodies and then switching back. Improvements were also made to NPCs with rocket launchers who now enter combat even when no cover is available and switch to their sidearm if an enemy gets too close. The AI features and audio teams partnered to implement and fix wild lines across AI behaviors, including first reactions, tactics, and investigations. The team also debuted the first Valakar giant sandworm gameplay at CitizenCon. Really excited about that. I love monster hunting in games. I think it's going to be pretty awesome with the Valakar and a load of the other creatures they've got planned. AI tech continued to support server meshing, synchronizing the subsumption component between dedicated servers so that NPCs continue their assigned behaviors when switching. They then implemented the first pass on several features presented during CitizenCon, including improvements to enemy vision perception, which now takes planetary lighting cycles into account. The first pass of dynamic cover generation for planets was also completed. This can be used in other locations with navigation areas. As seen at CitizenCon, the team can now generate cover locations and services at the same time as a navigation mesh. Functionality was also added to link navigation cost volume and navigation exclusion volume to areas in different object containers. For example, outpost object containers that feature exclusion or cost volumes can now influence how planet navigation meshes are generated. They also improved ship AI features, including planet surface avoidance and optimized ship fire validation against allies. They also optimized perception-related components like vision and hearing. For example, vision zone queries are now faster, while audio stimuli propagation is more accurate as it utilizes a room system graph. The narrative team tackled a multitude of tasks in the lead up to CitizenCon, alongside ongoing work outside of the event. For example, generating mission text and discoverables for Alpha 3.24 point patches, and working through the significant amount of text needed to support mission content in Alpha 4.0. They've also outlined plans for Star Citizen 1.0. This requires extensive narrative work, including introduction of a main story, guilds, factions, location stories, to inject character into the persistent universe. The online services team progressed with features for Alpha 4.0. As part of this, the refactor of the entity subscription service used for markers was completed and is currently in testing. The backend social system changes needed for server meshing began internal QA testing. The mission system is also starting its first round of testing, with additional features currently in development to support larger coordinated missions. The live tools team began finalizing a new tool to provide more detailed and powerful access management to Hex. The game intelligent development team polished StarScript 1.0 for its internal release. The R&D team spent the last few months supporting the introduction of dynamic weather to support evolving clouds. A compute pass was done to animate the global cloudscape based on local planet properties such as temperature, humidity, and wind. I do want to say that this has been spotted in 4.0. There is new cloud animations and moving clouds across the planet at scale, and it looks amazing. This data is used as a base to shape cloud fronts, which are then locally refined via procedural noise. This data is also used to build a weather map to allow weather to drive VFX, physics, and gameplay. This currently includes precipitation information, as well as the extracted positions of potential lighting locations. An API was also implemented to allow the game to sample these weather attributes from both the GPU and CPU in a consistent, simple, and efficient way. To render believable wet weather, support for rain volume rendering was added to the atmosphere rain marcher. Rain volumes are essentially columns of rain underneath heavy clouds that self-shadow alongside casting shadows into the environment. This is important to prevent incorrectly lit scenes where players would expect dense rain volumes to partially block sunlight, most noticeably at dusk and dawn. Also, changes to indirect lighting were implemented to improve the effect of multi-scattering on the atmosphere and clouds. Multi-scattering is now aware of cloud presence alongside the atmosphere. As a result, overcast skies are less hazy and blue and cloud tops appear brighter. To give moving clouds a smoother look, changes were made to account for their movement when sampling cloud shadows, as well as the GPU weather map. the latter directly influencing the appearance of rain volumes. Further improvements are being worked on to reduce the noticeable stepping of cloud shadows when the camera moves, which can often be seen when the sun is set low. Also, work on rain volumes inspired a prototype for improved ground fog rendering. This will be cheaper to elevate and render alongside improving the modeling aspect and lighting. It will also self-shadow and cast shadows like rain volumes and clouds. Finally, work began to support and maintain the map storing the accumulated amount of rain. Among other things, this will allow puddles to remain for a while after rain. Boom! That's it for your Star Citizen Persistent Universe monthly report. Until January, CIG very much focused on getting the stuff at CitizenCon into the game, getting 4.0 out, and then working towards 1.0. Awesome stuff they're doing with the dynamic weather, and yeah, the clouds look fantastic in 4.0. There are tons of those AI updates as well, so once we have more stable servers that hit 30 plus ticks constantly and consistently, I do think the AI are going to be in a really, really good state. I suppose the dream is that with static server meshing and 4.0, that maybe after a little while of 4.0 with like a hot fix or some optimizations, that might be the case. Or maybe I'm just dreaming. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Is there anything you're particularly excited about there? Are you expecting 4.0 still to be released live by the end of the year? What of those new features that were announced at CitizenCon are you most looking forward to in game? Is it dynamic weather? Oh, it does look good. Or do you not care about that? You wanted a game about spaceships and you're not really going to be landing on planets much. You're like, oh yeah, it looks pretty, but I want to fly around pew pew and stuff. Whatever your thoughts or questions, please chuck it in the comments below. And also, consider getting NordVPN. Well, listen to this chap. He's a beautiful potato. He knows what he's talking about. Welcome to the Intergalactic Nord Expo, where there's only one vehicle here, the vehicle for better internet security, accessibility, and privacy. I wish I could watch Netflix in Japan or Pyro or whatever. Boom! I can, and I'm so protected. It's not a concept. You can fly with nordvpn.com/BoredGamer today. And with NordVPN, you don't need any variants, but it is pay to win because you need to buy it or get a subscription and then you win. Use the links below to get massive discount. November is all about the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. We've partnered with the Star Citizen organisation Lunar Wolves for a massive giveaway. Commenting on any of my videos during the month gets you a chance to win one of 4 ships: a Zeus MR, an Ares Ion, a Drake Corsair, and even a Cutlass Black. All courtesy of those beautiful Lunar Wolves. But wait, there's more. Sign up to the Lunar Wolves recruitment page, link down below, for a chance to win an RSI Polaris with lifetime insurance. They're recruiting, you might be looking for an org. I'll chuck some further information and terms and conditions and stuff in the video description as well. Don't forget to click on the join button under my videos. That goes a long way to help support the channel. Thank you so much to you that have already done that. Zin and I play a load of games after work and stuff, and we want to chuck those up for people that have gone the extra mile to support us either on Patreon or via that join button. Just remember to like and subscribe as well. Comment, ask us some stuff. Thank you so much for everyone that supported the channel, whether it be for a day or for the last several years, a decade. Oh my God, we've been doing this for so long. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great November and Intergalactic Aerospace Expo.